And here we go, back again. Welcome to Dallas Sports. My name is Ryan, and I would like to say welcome to everyone who's obviously been following us. Please like, subscribe, and share. And what I would like to talk about today is just to reflect on what's been happening on Dallas Sports the last couple of weeks, as well as what's going to happen. Um, I hope everyone's been having a really good weekend. Now that Sunday is coming to an end, where I'm at, where we are, we're ready for the week, and I thought, why not come on tonight? Because I normally would do this on a Friday night, but we've got some very, very exciting news. Um, that tomorrow, Monday, we will have one of Namibian players who's also been part of Namibian rugby squad for the previous two World Cups, who's going to be featuring on the channel, and that is absolutely exciting for us because we would like to show everyone from a different angle to be able to hear what the particular player would be talking about. And also, let's touch on what's been happening the last couple of weeks. First and foremost, I would like to obviously say once again thank you for everyone who's been supporting the channel, who's been subscribing, who's been sharing our content, and also it's just brilliant to see how many people like the videos. Obviously, the idea for us is whatever we try and put together is to always to inspire and just to keep learning as well, as because we don't know everything, but we're having so much fun when we create content. And I thought, why not talk about the whole experience of from our side. It's it comes down to just obviously we want to build up relationships. I know on this platform, it's not just about making videos, put it on, and then we off. I'm sure people are very interested sometimes to hear, what do we deal with on a daily basis. So I thought I would talk about my brother Sergio, who's been doing the Iron Wolf September challenges. And as some of you seen, he's posted content for every single day about a week ago, and it was very, very intense. For him to be able to obviously to do that every single day and then upload it. But he managed to do it. And the idea, the focus is he's still doing it, even though he's not been uploading. So it's a September challenge. For those of you that like the challenges, go and check out Iron Wolf. He's also on Instagram. He's on YouTube. He's got some really, really tough workouts that can really elevate your fitness. But also, it's good to collaborate. So that's one of the reasons why we thought, let's do this, these challenges. So the idea was also, you know, what we've been what we've been realizing is because we we're doing fitness, we're doing skills. You actually getting better as well. And talking to Sergio, he feels like his fitness has improved a lot. He's in a really good shape as well. So as usual, for those of you that have questions, please fire away as usual. We would hopefully come back to be able to answer the questions. And another thing was if we have this week, we'll be talking to obviously to particular player that I said who's based in France at the moment. He's been there since 2019, since I think December. And I've speaking to him briefly this week, and he's really excited to come on as well. So please watch out. Please watch out for his highlights tomorrow. His rugby highlights will be on tomorrow. Okay, and we'll be playing that all the way leading up to Wednesday. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Namibian time, which will be 6 p.m. UK time, and I think it's 5 p.m. GM time. For those of you that would like to listen, tune in and listen to what he's got to say. I don't want to. I don't want to say his name not yet because I want people to come on and support and share his highlights. He's got some brilliant highlights, and he's featured in two World Cups, 2015 and 2019, for Namibia. And he's been he's been one of he's actually co-captain Namibia as well on numerous occasions. And he's a very good guy, very friendly, good character, and he's been instrumental for Namibia. So that's very, very exciting. And also, hopefully, we'll be looking to build on this for the following week. We've got another player lined up, very, very exciting, which I think it's a platform where people, especially people in Namibia, can hear from their own from their own point of view of what their experience have been growing up, the trials there to go through to be able to get to the point to where they are now. I'm sure everyone's got a story. A couple of weeks ago, we talked, or we had Tamasho Forbes on, and what a success! What a success story that was because he, like I mentioned previously, he shared how he had to train and got left out for 2015, but he ended up going, pushing forward, and he ended up making it for the following 2019. And it just shows if you work hard and you don't give up, sometimes, yeah, things can happen for you. It might not happen the way you imagined, but at the end of the day, you can still get what you want. Because I do believe that what you have is what you've manifested, what you've attracted. And sometimes it could be negative or positive. And I've been learning a lot about that. So I thought, why not come on tonight and talk about mindfulness. Um, Mindfulness for me, I did a mindfulness course, and I at the time I wasn't really fully aware of what mindfulness is. Now you could use mindfulness. You don't have to be a sports person or an athlete. It's for anyone. So I thought, why not share one or two things of my experience about mindfulness. And sometimes it could, just for an example, you could start with just eating a biscuit or chocolate. And what I would normally do is just eat, and I wouldn't really, I know it might taste like chocolate, but I'm not really fully focused on what the taste is. So for those of you that are listening, if you can either get a raisin or a piece of chocolate, and what you could do is, you could take a bite and try to spend time a minute or so by just moving the chocolate or the raisin or the small piece of biscuit around your mouth and see and feel what you're noticing. So these are methods that you could utilize, right, to tap into the mindfulness. And it's so weird, but it's very effective because it helps you to shift your mind. So I use that these methods as I've been learning a lot in my coaching. Because as we know, everything we do is all about the mindset. It's all about the mindset. I use this a lot. If you see that the weather is it's nice weather, but in a distance you can see this dark clouds. What do you normally do? You grab your raincoat, or you prepare for rain is coming. It's the same thing. We don't panic. We just know, oh, there's rain coming. So it's the same thing with sports. You've got to be able to prepare the way you go. And here's the secret: you've got to try and plan backwards. In the past, I used to plan where I'm at forwards, and then I don't really prepare for foul weather. So when things happen and it's out of my control, it will really affect me. But if you plan backwards, where you think you should be, plan backwards, then when things happen, you don't panic because you know you've not arrived. You know you're still how far you are away or on the path, and that's what's really helped for me or helping for me. And to distract my mind, I always tell the people that I work with as well. In the match, you're in and out of the match, concentrating, losing concentration. So when the game stops, take your mind quickly somewhere else. If you work in an office and you're constantly sitting there in front of the computer for hours, after every 10, 15, 20 minutes, just look away, distract the mind. And then when you come back, it's almost like you've started again from the beginning, like as if you've not been there. And that way you can actually stay more in tune with what you're doing. The concentration level stays up there. The energy that's required stays up there. But what we do is we burn ourselves out, right? By just constantly just being there for hours or for I don't know how long, and then we become drained. Um, I normally would think, what do you do when your battery, your phone's battery is almost about to run out? You go and plug it in, right? Because you know if you don't have battery, your phone will die. Why do we allow ourselves to drain and we don't recharge the mind or the body? It's important to refresh your mind, to practice your mind. It's all these skills, these things that I thought I wanted to mention and talk about because everyone is just assumes that people are, you see them, you build up an image or what you've heard or what you've seen. But if they don't really know you, whatever they've heard, that's what they think of you. So as a coach, as a husband, as a dad, as a brother, as a son, like I'm not just a coach. I'm actually a lot of other different things. And I'm trying to learn to be the best I can be in every area. Okay, and a tip or two maybe for anyone listening. Um, what's your gift? What is your gift? Have you ever sit still and thought about what am I good at? What do I want to do? What am I really good at? If you're good at working with your hands, you can whatever you do, be the best you can be with working with your hands. Um, if you good at talking to people or listening, become world class at listening. Become good at doing. Master your gift, because a lot of times we are so focused on what other people are doing, what other people have, and then you end up being frustrated because you feel you're not getting what you want. So when it comes to playing sports or whatever you have your mindset on, master one thing at a time. Because what I've learned last 2 3 years, if you spread, you give a 1% here, 1% there, 50% here, 90% there, you all over the place. Then you can't, people won't be able to see how class you can be in this one area. So whether you sell insurance or insurance policies, whatever, just become focused and mindful of what you're doing at that specific time. And if you can separate it, then you will see that you will have so much more fun. Um, you can manifest anything because I normally tell my children as well, what do you think? I'll just catch them and I'll ask them, what are you thinking right now? And they'll be like, nothing. And I'm like, why not? Like, how come you're not thinking anything? They just hear right now. Right now, they just hear. That's it. They've got the gift of the present moment. And a lot of top athletes, they don't lose that. That's what they hold on to. That gift of being in the present. We all have it. We all have 24 hours in a day. The question is, how do you spend your 24 hours? You might like sleep. You might like to, don't know, sit and relax for 2 hours a day. Have a coffee, have a biscuit, have a chocolate. But when you actually doing that, the question is, where's your mind? Are you actually focused right where you are? Because if you're not, if you find yourself, your mind's running, right, then what's the point doing what you're doing? And here's another thing that maybe to make you think is when you see the clouds, right? You've got to treat your mind like you treat the clouds. Because if you see the clouds, you can't touch it, but you can see it. So in the mind, you can see what's going on in your mind, but you can't touch it. But how do you affect what's going on in your mind? Because sometimes we jump on a thought and we start creating. And then when you start creating, that's when, you start feeling a certain way. And that, like, remember, like I said, this is still to do with being mindful, like mindfulness. So to help becoming better as a person, okay, is to be in the present, but also to control, okay, to control your emotions through the way you think, the way you see yourself, right, is because of how you think. It's your attitude, right, and your behavior that helps you to get to what you want. If your attitude is kinda all right, then you're gonna get kinda all right results. So I'm gonna use Sergio for an example, and I am sure you wouldn't mind, but he he's developed, and I've spoken about this in the past. He's developed consistency, and it just looks easy when he sets his mind on something. He'll just do it. Like the challenge, the September challenge. How many people would say, "Yeah, I'm keen to do that." Even myself, I'm keen to do the challenge, and then after a week, it's like, "Phew, that was too hard." We start making excuses of, I can't do this, and because of whatever reason. But with him, he'll find a way because that's his passion. So what I'm trying to say is, search for your gift, find out what is your gift, and be passionate about it. Be passionate about it because sometimes we also hear a lot of things, whispers, and we start believing. Like I said in a previous video, we like to hear what people have to say about us, and that can also shape you and mold you for the worse. And then it becomes in such a way where you start telling yourself that you can't do it. We've all been there. So what I'm trying to say is, having people to come on for this week, we've got, like I said, we've got a Namibian international, and he's class at what he's doing. We're gonna hear from him, and I'm really, really excited. Please share the news. Wednesday, I'll say this again, 7 p.m. Namibian time. But we will put out feelers on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook to advertise. Obviously, after as the highlights is running, we will make a thumbnail to make sure that people will be aware where to find it. And if you do come across it, please take time out as usual. Please share it, talk about it. Especially there might be people out there, who needs a little bit of inspiration. And it's always good to hear from people who's been through a lot, but who's coming out on top. At the end of the day, we all are dealing with our own struggles, but it doesn't have to be all negative, and just we don't have to be down, because if you face any challenge, one thing that I've learned playing sports is you've got to come up with a solution. It's so easy so easy to say this, but when you're in it, that's what I'm talking about. That's what you've got to develop. Sometimes people give up, but what you don't realize is we in difficult times, we've got to keep on going because you don't know how far or close you are before you get your breakthroughs. And getting a breakthrough is the reward or the end result of the process. Okay, so it's how you see yourself, being mindful. Like I said, if you eat a biscuit, don't just eat it. Sometimes sit there and take your time chewing it. So you're learning to shift your focus on what you're doing, and that will help you to set your mind right, to be continually being in the present. Any sports person out there, if you can master being in the present, you will be a lot more successful. And this is something that I used to struggle with. And that's why once I came across it, that's what was lacking a lot of times for me personally, being in the present. Being in the present, you'll be able to achieve anything you can, what you set your mind on by being in the present. Um, Catch better, you run with a different purpose. You're communicating, you're just confident, and it's just flowing, it's just natural. And when difficult times pop up, that's when you actually go and find a solution, or you come up with a solution. You find a way to come up with even and make it better, because that's what it's all about. Because there's not just this way or that way. You can always find a different way playing sports, to be successful. So yeah, so I was also going to talk about. Um, I've made a passing video this week about clap, and it just made me think. Um, it's not always easy to practice skills, but I thought, why not show I'm standing in my, like, I've got trainers on, I've got a basketball, and show you. You can always find a way by being effective, just mastering your craft. Okay. And before you know it, because you just consistent, you're getting a breakthrough. There's a saying, you probably heard of it. There's water that runs out of a tap. Okay, it just drips, right? Now that drip of water, because it's consistent, and sometimes there's stones around it, because the drip is consistent, right? Over the period of months, that drip becomes so violent, right? That it starts shaping and molding a stone. It's actually shaping the stone. Now, water is so soft, but how can it be so hard and so violent? Because it's consistent. So that's why I want to leave you with that, or that thought. Be consistent at what you do. Right now, because of the circumstances in the world, wherever you find yourself, you might be back to social distancing or lockdown, or you're restricted, your family's restricted. When people come together, it's just negative. You've got to be careful where who you surround yourself with, especially on chats. Just because you're not physically talking, protect yourself. Protect yourself from what you're hearing and what you're seeing. Because all you can think of right now, being in a difficult situation, think about this. It's going to stifle your development. It's going to slow down everything that you've been working on. This whole year has just slowed down every principle, right? Everything that you've put your hand to, it's just slowed down the whole year. But the question is, what are you doing right now? Are you standing still, or are you moving? Are you preparing your soil? Okay, when all this blows over, what can you look back and think, you know what? I'm so glad that I've been in that situation, because I came out better. I didn't sit still and throw my hands up. Oh my word, what am I going to do now? keep moving, keep searching. There's no excuses. If you wanna lose weight, if you wanna get in shape, you've gotta. It starts with taking the first step. Take that first step. It's not easy. I know, and I don't like training. Trust me. But when I had to do it, I had to do it. Okay. So the whole idea is why I came on tonight was I just wanted to drop a little bit of positivity out there and also give you updates on what's to come and just to do a reflection on what we've been doing and also to thank you guys for taking time out to come and listen and come on watch, and just support. We thank you for that. And like I said, there's a lot more coming, a lot more content coming your way. We've got a few, like I said, for the next few weeks. What we're planning on is to bring players on or people on our platform to come and share their story, and hopefully you'll be inspired. Because where you are, like I said, whatever your circumstances, please stay positive. Stay positive, and if you can build good relationships with people that you can talk to. Sometimes it's not all about the talking. It's more to do with if you can find someone where you could be yourself, and they just good for listening. That can really help as well. Get a new hobby. My dad used to say, "Why don't you read a book?" And I used to like, "Nah, I don't like reading. I hate reading." But now, I can read a book. I take time out. I read the Bible. I read all sorts because it's something that yeah, maybe I should have picked that up a lot earlier, and I should have listened. But I'm glad that I'm actually got to this point where I'm reading, and I'm learning. Because when you read, you're developing your brain muscle. It's not always about just go to the gym and pick up some weights. You can actually develop your brain muscle as well. So the thought or the idea is, if you guys out there try to develop a good hobby, right? Once you develop a good hobby, what are you achieving? You're developing consistency, because you take yourself out of a different zone into a different area, what you uncomfortable with because you might not like it, but that's also shaping and molding you for the next phase. Another one would be what I've also realized: if you are struggling, if you're struggling about, you're not consistent in your behavior, you might, and then tomorrow you might be weak, you might be grumpy, and it will affect everything. My wife normally says, when I used to drive in, she can feel, oh, he's not in a good mood. How is that possible? It's because of my vibration, because of my energy that I'm giving off. But she could also tell if I'm in a good mood, before I even get into the house. So what I'm trying to say is develop your behavior. It starts very small. It starts within your own house. Check yourself. Be honest with yourself, because you won't always get everything perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't. Whatever you identify your gift. Like I said, be passionate about your gift. When I was asked a long time ago, what do you wanna what do you wanna be when you're older? And I said, I wanna play rugby. The answers I used to, I don't, I know you want to play rugby, but what do you want to be? What do you want to do? And I'm like, but I'm gonna do rugby. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, but it's not a job. But I didn't care. I just knew that's what I was gonna do, and I'm still doing it. So what I'm trying to say about that is, you know, when you have a passion for what you know you're good at and what you want to do, run with it. Run with it, because sometimes your visions and your goals are too big for people. That doesn't mean that it's not the right thing, right? So back then, rugby was not even a job, but all I wanted to do was just to do rugby. And now I'm sitting here on YouTube and I'm talking about rugby. but not just rugby. I'm talking about life skills. I'm talking about, why we do this, what we do is I've identified my why. I hope that makes sense. I have identified my why, right? So when you know, like if you're coaching people or teaching people, you've got to help them discover their why. Why do you do, for instance, what you do? Why do you do what you do? Why do you play rugby? Why do you play sports? Why did you study to become a doctor, or why did you, you know, whatever? Why do you do what you do? If you can discover that, ask yourself that question. You'll be surprised because you might realize that you've not even been on the right track of what you actually supposed to do. Okay. Um, the problem what I've seen with a lot of people as well sometimes is we always try to look at other people, like I mentioned earlier. We look at other people, what they doing, and then we try to measure ourselves with other people, and that's a dangerous thing because it sets you up for failure sometimes. But you can also use that as a motivation. So surround yourselves with people that you know you can always learn from, right? Learn from. And when you ask questions, you know you're gonna always hear something that you didn't know. So 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 at the end of the day, when we have a platform like this, it is a good tool, like I said, to come and talk about these things because our channel is all about to inspire and to share what we know, but we don't know everything. But like I always say, what we do know, we'll share, and hopefully that can help someone who's been searching. What do I need to do in these times that's so difficult? Prepare your soil. Get ready for the next for the next time where when you're playing rugby, for instance, you're fitter, you're stronger. You didn't sit still and think, oh, this is not gonna, there's nothing happening now at the moment, so I might as well just kick back. This is the right time to get fitter, faster, stronger, more confident, be an influencer, be positive, knowing that when you walk into and whatever area, you'll influence it because you know where you've been, you know what you've done, So, but I know I've been talking, I've been going on and on and on. I just want to come back to again this week. This week, I would like to say, please come and join us Wednesday, 5 p.m. GM time, 7 p.m. Namibian time, 6 p.m. UK time. We'll have a special guest on Telesports again, coming to share his story. But watch out for his rugby highlights from tomorrow onwards. And please share and like it. Tell everyone. And I'm sure you guys do, and would like to say thank you once again for all of that. And also on the chat, I just want to say hi to everyone. Ivan, I hope you are well where you are. Chill TV, Simone, Sergio, Caleb's Amazing Adventures, and Rufus, all everyone. I would just like to say thank you so much for coming on and listening to what we've got to say. It's one of those things. We've got to use our time wisely. We all have 24 hours. The question is, what do we do with your 24 hours? That's the gift of time that we've received. And not everyone uses it wisely sometimes. But at the end of the day, um, it is what it is. I hope you are safe and well where you are. Please watch out. I'll say this again tomorrow, from tomorrow onwards on Telesports highlights. Okay. And Wednesday we'll be live and talk more rugby. So please stay safe, and keep well and keep supporting. Like, subscribe, and share the knowledge. And also, if you have any questions, please fire away. With that, I'm gonna wrap up there, guys. I want to say we will see you soon and have a blessed day. So thank you.